You're ambitious. You have big dreams, bold goals, and the drive to make them happen. But what happens when your ambition comes at the cost of your fulfillment? When you are prioritizing your to do list over your friendships, your happiness, and really the moments that make life truly magical. In today's episode of Big Goal Energy, I'm going to dive into the hidden cost of ambition, how striving for more leaves us feeling less. I am going to share both my story and also some of the experiences of my clients and share with you really truly how happiness and fulfillment aren't just luxuries. Let me repeat that again. How happiness and fulfillment aren't just luxuries, but actually they're essential ingredients for you to achieve your big goals. Let's talk about redefining what success really truly means and why it is so important for now to be the time that you stop chasing and start living. I'm Bree Seeley, the hostess of Big Goal Energy. Welcome, and let's get started.
I can tell you've got big goal energy. Are you ready to turn your wildest dreams into your everyday reality? You are in the right place. Welcome to Big Goal Energy, the podcast that helps you turn your audacious and delusional dreams into your everyday life. We know that you don't settle for the ordinary, that you have dreams which others may deem unrealistic. But here, we help you defy reality and bring those dreams to life. Each episode of Big Goal Energy empowers you with knowledge, inspiration, and mentorship to conquer your most unrealistic goals. From transparent roundtable conversations to short-form episodes, you'll hear the experiences of women who have defied reality, as well as learn practical tips and strategies to fuel your journey. Join us by subscribing to Big Goal Energy, and together we'll turn your audacious dreams into remarkable achievements.
The impetus behind today's show actually happened just a few days ago. So it's currently Tuesday. I am sitting in a hotel room in Boulder, Colorado, and I had a call with my coach on Sunday. She was asking me about the Foundry. She was asking me about what the impact is for the people who are enrolled. She was asking me the client avatar, like who enrolls in this 6-month immersion. I was explaining it to her and I was talking to her about how so many of the women that come to me spend all their time overworking and underliving. And I was sharing with her how this is also part of my story, how much life I have missed out on because building my business was more important than living my life. She and I dove into kind of that hustle culture narrative and just how toxic it is, especially for women, and how it's really truly keeping us from the success we desire rather than helping us create it, which is the narrative that we're all sold, right? And as she and I were talking, she actually admitted to me, she goes, "Do you know how many of my best friends' weddings I have missed because of my business, because of building my business?" She and I had this really heartfelt, in-depth discussion about the ways that we have sabotaged our success by letting our ambition take over, by letting this hustle culture narrative kind of be our MO. I really wanted to bring it here and give you a preview of some of the episodes that are coming up as well, because I was just looking up, like, obviously I know that happiness and fulfillment increase productivity, yet when we go to be more productive, happiness and fulfillment often end at like the very bottom of the list. Have you ever noticed that? If we want to be more productive, we're not focusing on doing things that make us feel better. We're like forcing ourselves or using this word. My clients in the Foundry this weekend at our retreat are going to get a masterclass in the word discipline. I need to be more disciplined. I need to discipline myself more to be more focused and be more productive. I am sorry, y'all, but fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck it. So there's going to be episodes coming up on productivity and why happiness and fulfillment are actually the secret to productivity. There's going to be a whole episode on that. I want to do an entire episode on like fuck discipline. So if you're not yet subscribed to Big Goal Energy, now would be a really great time to do so on whatever platform you're listening on. If you're listening on Spreaker, we are also on YouTube, Google, on Spotify, Apple, and we're on Amazon. Make sure that you go find us on whatever platform is your platform of choice. If you subscribe on YouTube, you get the view. If I'm in my office, I now have a brand new beautiful neon sign that says Big Goal Energy on it. But like I mentioned today, I'm in Boulder in a hotel. Let's just start off by diving into this hustle culture narrative. I started my first business in 2007. And back then I was in fashion, so I wasn't too immersed in the online business world. Gary Vee hadn't yet hit the scene. There were still some more masculine ideals about working hard and grinding and putting in the hours. I also was running that business in conjunction with having a full-time job. So I was literally burning the candle at every single end of the candle. I was putting more wicks in the candle and lighting all of those on fire. And while it got me to a really great place, what I have learned since then, so that was 18 years ago, what I've learned since then is that working harder and hustling is actually not what gets you to the next level. Now, there is a certain level of business that you can get to by hard work and hard work alone. What happens is that there's a graph and it's increasing, 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 and then it plateaus. Why it plateaus is because the levels above that, you don't reach those through hard work. It's like if you've ever been in an elevator and you have like a key card and the key card only gets you to a certain level, and then above that, like the penthouse levels or whatever, you need a different key card. It's kind of the same with this. Your key card that you have to get to the level that you've gotten to through hard work is a great key card to have, but that's not the key card that can get you to the penthouse levels. Because at a certain point, no matter how much work you put in, you simply cannot ascend any higher. You need things like systems, you need things like operations, you need things like having a team around you. You only have so much capacity. And if your success is limited to your capacity and your capacity alone, there will always be a threshold. This idea of hustling, great. It's going to get you to that threshold. What a lot of these like hustle gurus out there don't tell you, like Gary Vee, he, quote unquote, he is posting on social media how many fucking times a day. They're putting out how many email newsletters a week. He's speaking at how many events a week. He's not doing those things. He has people literally following him around with cameras to capture the content. Those people are then editing the content and then posting it on his behalf. If he had to be the one to do everything in his business, there's no way in hell he'd have the business that he has right now. This is not negating, like, yeah, dude works a lot. Good for him. I don't know about you. I don't want to work all the time. A lot of you know I am newly married. I have a life that I love. I have creative ventures that I love. I have pets that I love. I love sitting out by the fireplace with a cup of tea. These are the moments that I'm talking about that you miss out on when you are focused on hustling. So I'll give you some examples. Like I mentioned earlier, my coach told me she's missed at least 3 of her best friends' weddings because of this hustle culture mentality. I have clients who are moms who have been missing out on their children growing up because they've been in the hustle of their business. I know women whose relationships have completely crumbled because they didn't make time for them and they didn't prioritize them because they were hustling to build their business. What I want to tell you right now is so important, and that is there's a better way. There is a better way. There is a world in which you can not only achieve the goals you have in your business, but you can surpass them while also enjoying your life. So we're going to take just a quick break right now. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing in Boulder and why it was so important for me to come to Boulder. So BRB, see you in just a minute. Are you an entrepreneur with a bigger vision for your business, but no clear path to build it? You need strategy, accountability, and community to transform the business you have into the entrepreneurial legacy you dream of. No more overworking for mediocre results. No more confusion about achieving your massive dreams. No more doubting your audacious goals. The Foundry is your opportunity to say yes to the big goals within you and build them with ease and alignment. Apply now to become one of just 10 entrepreneurs in this exclusive mastermind. Visit breesealy.com/mastermind and don't wait. Your legacy starts today. All right, what the fuck am I doing in Boulder? I've never been here before. This is my first time in Boulder. Lovely town. I have a view of the mountains out my window of my hotel. I had lovely gluten-free chicken fingers last night with delicious Brussels sprouts. I got to go to Sweet Green yesterday, which is one of my favorites. Harvest salad, no apples, no rice, sub quinoa. Very, very much enjoying my time here. Jordan and I just got back from Miami. Like, I just got back from being out of town. So why was it so important for me to leave town again and come to Boulder? And what the fuck am I doing here anyways? A few years ago, was on this woman's podcast, Hillary. And she was actually on my old podcast as well. We did a podcast swap. She is a lovely human. Now, her partnership director reached out to me. It was maybe in September, October, and said like, hey, what do you have coming up this year? Can you and Hillary like partner up and do something cool again this year? And I was like, hey, hit me back in December. Like, I got to get married and I have this conference that I host. So like, she and I can catch up after that. She tells me about these women's dinners that she is facilitating with these like beautiful, amazing, powerful, ambitious women, mostly all from this area, but that she's getting ready to start these dinner parties and she wants to take them and then kind of like take them around the country. And I was like, oh God, to be honest, one of the things that I've really missed in my entrepreneurial journey is I've had a really hard time finding powerful, ambitious women who make space for connection. Because again, so much of that ambition conversation is my business is more important than my connections. I have too much to do to like have coffee with people. Like the number of times I've met with someone and then literally never heard from them again when they're like, oh my God, you're amazing. We should connect more often and like help each other out. And then literally nothing. If I had $1 for every time that happened to me in the last 10 years, I would be a very rich woman. I was saying to her, I really have missed in the last 10 years having just awesome, ambitious, creative, inspired, powerful women by my side on this journey. So she said, well, I know you're in Tulsa, but would you ever come to Boulder for one of these dinners? And I was like, oh my God, yes. In a heartbeat, I would come to this dinner. Now, past me would not have prioritized this. Past me probably would have said, oh, a plane ticket plus hotel plus the time plus the energy plus the da 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 da. Like, I don't know. It's not getting me closer to my goals. It's not checking things off that I like. I got shit to do. I need to get done. Ugh, is this a priority? And I've really turned this corner in my business where I'm like, my happiness, my fulfillment, my connection, my community is of utmost importance. My to-do list will get done later or I can fucking hand it off to someone else to do. I can hire someone to do it. My priority is feeling really good in my business, being super nourished and super clear so that I can serve my people, and also practicing what I fucking preach. If I'm telling you that you can have it all, if I'm telling you that you can have the happiness and the fulfillment and that your business does not require you to sacrifice your life, I have to go first. I decided to come to Boulder for literally 60 hours to get a hotel room, to get a rental car, and to go to this dinner. I thought I was going to go to this dinner, not know anyone. What's kind of cool is that she sent us the list of the people. And I actually know someone. I've met this woman 10 years ago at a conference, and it'll be really cool to reconnect with her. While I'm here, I also reached out to a girlfriend who lives in Fort Collins, and she's coming down for lunch today, so I get to see her. I'm also having coffee with 2 girlfriends that live in Denver on my way out tomorrow morning. If I can impart one thing to you in this episode, it's that your ambition does not need to override your life and your happiness and your fulfillment. Your life, your happiness, and your fulfillment actually become the fuel for you to lock back into your intuition, for you to lock back into your ambition and keep going. We all know you can't run a car on empty. If you're waking up every day and just trying to grind through and hustle through, but your reservoir is empty, girl, that's not the fucking way. We are not meant to feel like shit every single day, forsaking ourselves for these big goals that we have. Now, if you're like me, I'm very, very spiritual. I firmly believe that when the universe or when my guides or when my higher self gives me a goal to go after, I take that very seriously. I am in a lot of spiritual circles. They say I am very obedient to the visions that I am given. But that doesn't also mean that I don't also need to be obedient to myself and my needs. I think especially in a lot of spiritual communities, there's been this divide of, oh, my human self, like I can sacrifice my human self to go after these big callings that I've been being given by the universe or whatever. Why the either or? We are here on this planet as humans right now for a reason. And I firmly believe that part of that reason is enjoyment and fulfillment, digging our hands into soil. I've really been enjoying making candles lately and like pouring candles. A few years ago re-picked up pottery and was going into the pottery studios. I'm starting a new book club with just some girlfriends in person. This shocked someone the other day. I was like, yeah, I'm starting this book club. We're going to meet on Fridays in Tulsa. And they were like, you're starting an in-person book club? What the, what? You're not meeting on Zoom? I'm like, no, we're not meeting on Zoom. We're meeting in person. And I'm taking Friday afternoons after that as creative time because I know myself well enough to know that if I push myself and if I force myself to be riding that ambition train without that fuel, be hustling every single day without that nourishment, I'm going to resent it. I'm going to hate my business because I have been here before and I'm just not going to want to show up. And then my neurospicy brain goes into fight, flight, or freeze, which my brain chooses freeze. And then I spend days on the couch binge watching or scrolling TikTok. And it's just not a great place to be. You want to talk about productivity? That is not productive. Do you know what would be more productive? Me giving myself 4 hours on a Friday afternoon to fill my cup and nourish myself to then step back into my business with the vigor and the passion that you can feel right now through my voice. Getting on an airplane yesterday filled me up. I not only got to get on an airplane, because I have frozen shoulder right now, I was wearing a sling, so I didn't have to lift any of my shit. I was wearing my brand new Ariat black on black, knee-high cowboy boots that Jordan got me for Christmas. I got into town. I ate takeout with my hands on my king-size white duvet cover. These are the things, these little enjoyments, these things that we overlook, these things that we say like, oh, that's actually not important in pursuit of my goal. Bullshit, my love. Bullshit. Those are the most important things in pursuit of your goals. Most important. So in the week ahead, before next week's episode comes out, I want to give you just a little piece of homework or soul work or reflection work, whatever you want to call it. I know a lot of people have animosity towards homework because, well, let's be honest, most of us were high achievers in middle school and high school too, and we all did our homework. But I also don't want to bring that energy into it because we did our homework out of obligation and out of being a good girl and getting good grades, right? Fuck that shit. Let's call it soul work and reflection work. I want you to take some moments in the coming week and just really look at where could I infuse more joy, more fulfillment, more happiness into my day. And this doesn't have to be a big overhaul. The Fridays that I've told you about, I've been trying to have creative Fridays for 5 fucking years. I told myself January 2020, 5 years ago, that I was going to start taking Fridays off and go out and enjoy New York City and do all the things in New York City that I wanted to do because that's where I was living at the time. And then COVID hit, and then I got sucked back down into the hustle rabbit hole. Lesson learned. I've been trying to reinstitute them. And what happens is something always happens on a Friday. A meeting gets booked, a thing needs to be done, need to prep something for my assistant, whatever. And then I end up doing none of it. So it's like I block out 8 hours on a Friday. And because I can't have all 8 hours, even if I only have something to do for an hour, if I can't do all 8 hours, I just do no 8 hours. And I just do no hours, 0 hours towards my creativity, right? When I say this, like look at ways that you can infuse more joy, happiness, creativity into your week. I don't mean that you need to spend 8 hours in this place. I don't even mean that you need to spend 4 hours in this place. What I agreed to on Sunday with my coach was I am going to start small. And then when that small thing becomes the norm, then I'll add on to it. Do you see what I'm saying? Maybe it's that when you make your tea or coffee in the morning, instead of rushing off to check your emails, you spend 5 minutes putting your feet in grass or just focusing on your breathing or cuddling with your cat, or I don't know what joy looks like to you, But I want you to start paying attention to these little moments, these little ways, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, that you can begin to prioritize joy, fulfillment, and happiness in your life. Because at the end of the day, that's going to feed you more and feed your ambition and feed your goals more than if you just went straight to check your emails. And I know this sounds really counterproductive, but I also just want to say to you, we've been fed a lot of propaganda and a lot of lies around what's truly meaningful in life. And checking your email over your cup of coffee is not it. It's not it. Give yourself some moments to be with yourself. Give yourself some moments to truly live, to dig into life and fulfillment and whatever the fuck that looks like to you. If we're negating those things, our ambition will always leave us striving for more. Our ambition will give us a life that feels like it's never enough. You are the main character of your life and of your story. What are you writing into that reality? I appreciate you all so much. Thanks for going on this short little journey with me today. Remember, make sure you're subscribed to Big Goal Energy. We have some great episodes coming up. If you are at all interested in joining the Foundry and reestablishing this balance in your life between your business and yourself, you can go to breeseely.com/mastermind. And don't forget to come follow me on Instagram @BreeSeely or TikTok @BreeSeely, assuming it's still around. Thank y'all so much for being here with me today. Go prioritize your joy. Go nourish yourself this week. And then let's talk about how we start balancing our big goal energy with our personal needs. Appreciate you so much. Have a great week. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Big Goal Energy. We trust that it fueled your ambition and made you feel seen. We are a community of ambitious female entrepreneurs like you. Come join us in the Big Goal Energy community by visiting breeseely.com/community. In the meantime, send your questions for us to cover in the episodes to info@breeseely.com. Together, we'll turn your audacious dreams into remarkable achievements. Cheers to defying reality. See you on the next episode.